Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Keys to the Jet. I'm your host, Red, over here kicking back after a great day of work being a janitor, doing janitor things and janitor stuff. I got a few things in this episode for you. Looking at some historical things about a fucking cool ass base that is very important to aviation, very important to the fighter world where I was when I was in the Air Force, and I mean to aviation in general. We're also going to do this day in aviation, some news. Probably go through Air Force Times, see what's going on there. Probably go through some la 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 la. Let's see. Sorry. Ooh, I just yawned. Probably go through some aviationweek.com, some Wikipedia, whatnot. All right. Let's get into it. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Hopefully this isn't up too loud. Hopefully my audio sounds great. Before we move on, I'd like to let you know, and I'd like to thank everybody who's supporting us so far, this far, and 2 years plus of Keys to the Jet podcast. I know we've been, back and forth with, hey, we changed our name. Hey, we're back. Hey, we've got some content. Hey, we don't have some content for a while. It's hard. Currently, it's hard because I'm the only one running it because of life, I guess, apparently. So, we're bound to have more guests on later. Bound to have Little Mikey, Fab, Rhino, Blackbeard, Mayor, Frere, the whole gamut. Good year. We're going to have them all on again. We're just flying solo right now. Also, we want to let you guys know you can join our Patreon for $5 bucks every month over at patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast. $5 bucks. That's the only tier we have, is $5. Should have some merch coming out for our patrons. And hopefully, I'm trying to design a challenge coin currently for our patrons. So if you join, you get a free shirt and a free coin. Also, Keys to the Jet toolbox, Keys to the Jet chocks, and yeah, that's it until we figure out some other stuff. Also, when we do drop some merchandise, you will have not only pre-sale picks, like pre-sale buying options, but pre-sale prices, which will probably be between 10 and 15% because you are a patron. Remember, you can go to patreon.com/Keys to the Jet podcast, and it's $5 bucks a month. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into the first thing. Let's go with our normal sort of thing. This day in aviation. Actually, before we start that, I'm sorry. I hope everyone had a good Easter. I know Memorial Day is coming up. I know that summer should be approaching out here in the desert. It is bipolar as shit. I don't know what is going on with this stuff out here, but it is crazy, dude. Just try and date it. It's so bipolar, you know what I mean? 1 minute it's hot, 1 minute it's cold, 1 minute it's raining, 1 minute it's windy. I can't. It's everywhere. That being said, if you are in certain areas with desert creatures and things of that nature, well, look out for snakes, okay? Look out for rattlesnakes because they're coming out, baby. They're coming out. If you ride a motorcycle, watch that road. They're going to be out there. They're going to be all over the road. Maybe not all over the road, but they'll be on the road at some point. So you better watch yourself. You know, those spicy danger death noodles, as I like to call them sometimes. And if you're in the desert, watch for Mojave Greens. They're crazy, dude. They'll fight you. They'll fight 6 of you. They'll chase you on your motorcycle. They'll get on their own motorcycle and chase you on your motorcycle while you're on your motorcycle. They're on their motorcycle and they're chasing you. And you guys are doing like a Starsky and Hutch thing and they're trying to bite you. And like, you're like, oh my God, I can't get away. And you're doing jumps. They're doing jumps. And they're just like, well, there goes them Duke boys. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Stay away from them, man. Also, with the heat coming, hydrate. Y'all need to hydrate. Get on knee and hydrate. Sure. Remember that? Or in basic training, in the Air Force basic training, because I was in the Air Force basic training. In the mornings, I remember somebody yelling. It'd be like, "Oh, trainees reminded, you will drink 12 canteens per, or one canteen per hour, not to exceed 12 canteens per day." Some shit like that. Drinking shitty Texas water. Maybe it's not shitty. Maybe it's good. It's Lackland, dude. Yeah. Yeah, great times. Good times, great prices. Okay, let's go into this day in aviation. All right. This day in aviation, May 7th, 1958, Major Howard Carroll Johnson, United States Air Force, the operations officer, 83rd Fighter Interceptor Squadron, 78th Fighter Group, based at Hamilton Air Force Base, California, zoom climbed a Lockheed F-104A Starfighter to an altitude of 91,243 feet over Edwards Air Force Base, establishing a new altitude record. The flight was certified by Charles S. Lodgson of the National Aeronautic Association. And using techniques developed by Lockheed Aerodynamicists, I can read. Major Johnson climbed to 41,000 feet and accelerated to the Starfighter's maximum speed and level flight. He then started to climb, maintaining a steady 2-point-G load until he reached the optimum climb angle. A piece of masking tape applied to the side of the cockpit canopy at the predetermined angle gave Johnson a visual reference during his climb. At approximately 77,000 feet, the F-104's J-79 turbojet engine had to be shut down to prevent overheating in the thin, high-altitude atmosphere. The Interceptor continued from that point on a ballistic trajectory until it reached the peak altitude. In the descent, the engine was restarted and Johnson flew the Starfighter back to Edwards Air Force Base. He broke the altitude record. Woo! Hell yeah. That's pretty cool, dude. What else do we got? Talking about a lot about this Johnson fella. He flew a lot of stuff. So, 6th and 7th May of 1943. No, never mind. We're not doing that one. La la la. They're talking about Sikorsky bullshit. We don't care about that. Let's see. Oh, sorry, my bad. 4 to 7 May 1936. British aviatrix. Was that a real word? Sorry. Aviatrix Amy Johnson departed Gravesend Aerodrome, England, in her Percival D3 Gold 6 en route to Cape Town, South Africa. In July 1932, she had set a record for flying this route solo, breaking the existing record, which had been set by her husband, James Mollison. The current record, though, was held by Flight Lieutenant Tommy Rose. Her goal was to retake the record. During the next 3 days, Johnson flew approximately 6,700 miles. She made several stops to refuel the airplane, but she slept only 6 hours. She arrived at Cape Town for an elapsed time of 3 days, 6 hours, 29 minutes. 29 minutes. Her average speed over the course was 122.56 kilometers per hour, or 76.21 miles per hour, setting a world record speed over a recognized course. Yeah, she broke Tommy Rose's time by 11 hours, 9 minutes, and her plan was to then make the return flight and beat Rose's two-way record. Yeah. Awesome. Let's move on to the next one. Let's see. I think we're pretty good on this day in aviation. This is great. This is cool stuff. Good stuff. I like historical shit. And this is why I try to talk to you guys about it. Historical aviation stuff, especially here on Keys of the Jet, where we love and celebrate anything aviation, military, civilian, all kinds of shit. I mean, we are prior military, so that's what we do here. Anyhow, let's go from this day in aviation to some news over to Air Force Times. We'll go over to Air Force Times first. So here we go. KC-46 Vision System upgrade slips to 2027. 3 years behind schedule. A friend of mine works on the KC-46 program. So the here I'm going to talk in the what do you call it? Remember the news voice from the 1930s or whatever? The KC-46 Vision System upgrade slips to 2027, 3 years behind schedule. The KC-46 Pegasus refueling tankers troubled remote vision system is now unlikely to see a replacement upgrade until summer 2027, the Air Force said, putting the Boeing program more than 3 years behind schedule. That's what you should expect for NGAD too, because Boeing fucking sucks. I'm just a janitor. I don't know. I mean, they were handed NGAD. Here you go. Yeah. They were just planned for that 6th generation fucking airplane to be 6 years behind schedule and over budget. Let's see. Oh, DOD working on recipe to improve food on military bases. That's cool. What else? What else? Yeah. Whoa, did a U.S. F-22 shoot down a UFO? Whoa. Let's look at that one. Let's add this one. Or let's look at this one. Remember February 2023? It was a wild time. There were cocaine-addled bears, mushroom zombies, and Air Force fighters shooting sketchy inflatable objects out of the sky left and right. That month began with a Chinese balloon. The U.S. said it was loaded with spy equipment. Beijing claimed it was just a weather balloon blown off course, drifting across much of the contiguous United States and igniting a furor. That was before it was blowed up real good. The technical terminology by an F-22 off the coast of South Carolina. Oh, boy. But February's bizarre occurrences didn't stop there. U.S. pilots soon shot down 3 more mysterious objects over Alaska, Canada's Yukon Territory, and Lake Huron in as many days. None of these subsequent objects were ever recovered, with the official line indicating they were probably hobbyists or research balloons. But one grainy image is always grainy image, isn't it? Of the object shot down over the Yukon has now emerged and is giving significant "I want to believe" vibes. Oh, if you should look this thing up, it looks like a lifesaver. Look it up. Yeah, I believe, man. There's little green, tiny men. Shot him down. Dude, that's, you know what? Thinking about that, it could have been aliens inside the balloon. Think about that. So, the aliens came down to Earth. They wanted to see what the fuck we were doing. So, instead of getting in their ship, they were like, yeah, this will draw attention to us. They got in a fucking balloon or like cloaked their shit to look like a fucking balloon. And then they were like, this will not get anybody's attention. Why? Because humans fly balloons all day. I mean, they have balloons for birthday parties. They have balloons for funerals. They have balloons. People put balloons on dead animals all over the place. So, I mean, we use balloons for every occasion. So why not disguise ourselves as a balloon and fly across, see what we can find. See if we can find some cool people. And they were probably after a Grimace Shake at the same time. I'm probably not in the same time frame, but they were like, hey, we don't get these Grimace Shakes on our planet. So we're going to go over some McDonald's and get some Grimace Shakes. Or it was the Chinese trying to steal Grimace Shakes recipes, for sure. I solved it. I figured it out. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, let's see what else we can get into. Sorry, went on a rant there. I'm crazy. You don't even know. No, it's been a long time. I need to get some. There's a lot of stuff to unpack here. Let's see. All right, let's get out of Air Force times and let's go to air. Or the war zone. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about Harpoon anti-ship missile armed AC-130 gunships could be on the horizon. Wow. So anti-ship missiles are going to fucking put those on fucking AC-130s? What? Dude, they're going to start putting everything on AC-130s. Well, listen, we're getting rid of the A-10, but we got this badass gun. Can we retrofit it, maybe, just maybe, to the top of the AC-130? And they can just point their nose and then just go. Or, here's what else we could do on there. Lasers. Ever heard of it? Nope. Oh, here's another idea. You already got a Gatling gun in there. Right? What the fuck else is on there? I don't even know what is all on an AC-130. There's probably a lot of shit. There's probably a lot of stuff on there. Let's just put everything on there, dude. U.S. Special Operations Command has test loaded an AGM-84 Harpoon missile on an AC-130J Ghost Rider gunship. Well, the cool thing is at least they're coming up with better fucking names for these guys. They're really cool names, actually, for the AC-130. The addition of the Harpoon to the AC-130J's arsenal will give the gunship an all-new dedicated standoff anti-ship capability, which could be particularly relevant in a future large-scale conflict in the Pacific. Harpoon would also pair well with separate plans to expand the long-range targeting capabilities of the Ghost Rider with the help of a new active electronically scanned array radar. Major Andrew Moore, commander of U.S. Special Operations Command, mentioned the Harpoon load test during a talk at the annual Soft Week conference earlier today. Wow. I dig it. I really like it. Fucking cool, dude. Put more shit on shit, man. La 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 la. Let's talk about air forces. Air? No, let's talk about fighters. I want to talk about fighters. Oh, China's PL-15 air-to-air missile appears to have been used in combat for the first time. The apparent use of China's PL-15 by Pakistan in the recent eruption of hostilities with India comes as Rafale shoot-down claims swirl. That's crazy, dude. Oh, it's a missile. Indian Air Force made Dassault Rafale lost. Was shot down using China-made PL-15 air-to-air missile or China-made HQ-9BE air defense system. Wow. That's interesting. Oh, shit. Super Hornet crashes landing on USS Truman's second F-18 loss in a week. And I believe it's on the same ship. I believe it's on the same boat. It's like, what is going on over there, dude? What's going on with the Navy? They're getting crazy. What are they doing? Anyhow. Yeah, that sucks. I heard they had to pull him out of the water. Details remain very limited at this time. But another F-18 Super Hornet from the super carrier USS Harry Truman has been lost. 2 U.S. officials have confirmed that the mishap did indeed occur. The jet crashed into the sea during its attempt to land. Both the pilot and Wizzo were able to eject and were recovered by a helicopter with only minor injuries. How many sharks did they have to fight off? Did they ask him that? Did they say, hey, you were in the water. How many sharks were in there? Did you talk to them? Did you see any fish? Did you try to catch the fish while you were there? I would have tried to go fishing. Like, you pull the ejection seat. Pow! Don't forget my fishing pole! Because you're right, you're right off the fucking aircraft carrier. Huh. You would think pilots. Let's think about this. What are you going to carry in your pilot bag beside your helmet? That's right. A fishing pole. You never know. One of those collapsible ones, right? Or even some fishing line and like a worm. Because you never know. So you fucking land in the water. You make sure it's clear, right? You put your face underneath the water. Make sure there's no sharks. You say, crikey, there's no sharks here, mate. Right? No sharks. Crikey. No sharks. I can't speak Australian trying to do that. Right? Oi, good day, mate. There ain't no sharks here, mate. Right? So you look underneath, no sharks. Nor sharks. Then you cast your line out while you're waiting for the helicopter to come and get you. Cast out your line, catch a big fucking fish. Yeah, you just crashed a jet. Whatever, dude. Get over it, man. At least you're still above ground or water, whatever. And then fucking grab you a halibut or whatever the fuck is out there in that area that you're perusing around. Could be a shark. Could be fucking manatee. Could be I don't know. I'm not a fucking geologist, so I don't know what kind of fish there are down there, right? A tuner. Oi, catch me a tuna, mate. Right, blue tuna. Right, put that blue tuna right there. You know? Catch bluefin tuna or blue fucking fin whale or whatever the fuck is out there while you're waiting on the helicopter to pick you up. Think about it. You just did 2 hobbies in one. You're flying and you're fishing. Now that multitasking to the next level. You try it out. Really, really should. You really should try it out. You know what else you should try out? You should try, if you'd like to support our channel, you should try to go to patreon.com/Kids of Jet Podcast. $5 a month. Help out. Help us upgrade. Help us travel. Help us with operating costs. Mainly, help us get merch. We love you guys, and we thank you for supporting us. And you know, if you feel like you can give some, we would be forever grateful. I would be forever grateful. The other guys, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm running this shit. Me, Solo, Dolo, Red, the Big Red Machine. Baka! Anyhow, yeah, let's take a break for a second, dude. Take a break, real freaking quick. All right, just real quick. All right, I'm back. All right, I am back. Okay, listen up. We went over some cool news. We went over some cool stuff. We're trying to fish. Oh, man, that's what I'm going to try and do this freaking weekend is go fish, man. Try and catch me some striper. In the lake or river. Try and catch me some of that shit. You know, and I'm also going to ride my motorcycle this weekend, which is going to be great. And speaking of motorcycles, you've got a motorcycle and you're in the Arizona, Nevada, California tri-state area, like around Vegas, Laughlin, Bullhead City, Needles, Havasu area, and you need some motorcycle services done to your motorcycle, maintenance, overhaul, repair, you could take it to my buddy's shop over at Shamrock Cycles. Take it over to CJ Shamrock Cycles in Fort Mojave, Arizona. Let me see. Let me pull it up here. Is there a website? Does he have a website? Yeah. All right. So let me pull it up here. You can go to Shamrock Cycles Motorcycle Service and Repair. Get your motorcycle done up for the season. If you're out in that area, or if you're cruising through that area, because I know a lot of people do for Route 66. I know a lot of people do to go to Oatman and Laughlin and things like that. So if you're out there, if you're listening and you're out there, take it to my good friend, really actually great friend. I love him and I love his family. My daughter or my son and their daughter are best friends in the world. Take it to Shamrock Cycles in Fort Mojave, Arizona. You can get a hold of them by calling 928-435-2555. Give them a call. Let them know what you got. And I only take my bikes to CJ over Shamrock Cycles. So hit them up. Hit them up. Okay. If you're out and about going on Route 66, doing like an Eagle Rider, rent a thing, whatever. It don't matter. You got, you need some air in your tires. You need an oil change. You need your blinker fluid changed. Give them a call. CJ at Shamrock Cycles, 928-435-2555. Also, while you're out there, sorry. Trying to do everything all at once here. Also, if you're out in that area, Bullhead City, Fort Mojave, Kingman, Havasu, Needles, Laughlin area, and you'd like some cleaning, if you like some cleaning done to your house or yard, or you're moving or PCSing or whatever, give them a call. 928-583-2430, and they will hook you up. They're here for your cleaning needs. This is Nave's Cleaning Services, LLC, out in the Fort Mojave, Bullhead City, Laughlin area. The reason I talk about them and I, put them on here, I don't know who's going to hear it or not, but they're really important. They're family to me. The Naves are my family, and I support what they're doing. Also, that's about it. All right, so let's go over. Let's get back into gear here and go over some historical stuff about Edwards Air Force Base. Here we go. All right. So we're going to take a little trip here. Take a little trip. Going to Edwards Air Force Base. Today, hey, listen. Today we're going to talk about a place where planes break sound barrier, land on lakes, and sometimes crash very, very spectacularly. That's right. Today we're diving deep into the history of one of the only Edwards Air Force Base. So grab your coffee or whiskey or beers, or whatever, and let's take a ride out the middle of nowhere, California, where aviation legends were made and occasionally fried to a crisp. Chapter 1, where even the dirt's historic. I kind of like this one. Let's listen to this one. Oh, yeah. This one. Yeah. Let's go to chapter 1 about Edwards Air Force Base. Mach, Dry Lake. All right, so first off, before it was Edwards Air Force Base, this place was just pretty much a dry lake bed called Mach. dry lake. Yeah, it was settled there. It used to be like a train, like a water stop. And then there was a settlement that there was a settlement by the Coram family on the south edge of the dry lake bed. And they tried to call it Coram and start a post office. They're calling it Coram, but there's already a place called Coram, so they had to they switched their freaking name around to Mach, which is where Mach Dry Lake came from because of the family that settled there back in the 10s, 20s, 30s. And the crazy thing is it's a dry lake bed. They found when they went to dig for water, because water's one of the necessities you need in the desert, right? They found it at 9 feet. Allegedly. Again, I'm not a professional. I don't know. These are not a geologist, man. I don't freaking know. But anyways, yeah. And this place is dry, man. If you've never been out to Edwards, it is, we're crazy. So back in the 1930s, back then, the Army Air Corps, the pre-Air Force guys, were looking for a wide open space where they could drop bombs, test airplanes, and not accidentally crash into somebody's barn. And they found Mach. Huge, flat, no neighbors complaining about noise, just rattlesnake sand and a whole lot of mirage. And don't forget Joshua trees, because they're out there. And desert tortoises, they're out there too. The first Army pilots started showing up around 1933 to 1935, setting up a shop under a couple of tents and flying rickety bombers like the Keystone B-6. You know, the real cutting edge tech if you lived in 1925. When World War II started coming around, the war years growing fast and blowing stuff up. World War II comes around and boom, suddenly the military needs way more testing space. Mach blows up. And not just literally. They started flying and testing every crazy design you can think of. Fighters, bombers, rockets, stuff that looks like it was designed by a guy who drank too much coffee and ate glue. They built runways, hangars, barracks, and the Air Corps turned Mach into a serious operation. By 1942, they were calling it Mach Army Airfield. And let's just say you didn't want to get stationed there if you like civilization. Side note, and we'll talk about this base later on, but it's closed now. Tonopah Army Airfield was also started so the squadrons at Mach Army Airfield could it was used for bombing and gun runs, essentially, during the war. So I mean, fast forward through the war, where they're dropping bombs and they're practicing bombing and gun runs, so that way when they do go over and face the Germans or the Japanese, they have the tactics ready and acquired to essentially do the damage that they need to do. In fact, at some point in the middle of the freaking dry lake bed, they built a Japanese destroyer called the Mach Maru. And if you haven't seen this thing, you should look it up because it's crazy. If it's like a full-size Japanese model destroyer that they put out in the middle of the dry lake bed, so that way they can have bombers and fighters like use their tactics or come up with certain tactics to fucking just blow this motherfucker up to smithereens at some point. Yeah, it's crazy, but you should look into it. All right. So now from there, we're starting to get into the good stuff. The post-war, 1945, the Air Force really starts throwing money at crazy science projects. And the king of all the projects, the X-1 program. Yes, the orange bullet with wings. I don't know if you've seen the Bell X-1, but it is pretty awesome. You should check that out. I will later on do a video. Or actually, I'll probably I may put this video out. We'll see. The Bell X-1 was built to answer one question. Can a plane break the sound barrier without exploding like a piñata full of bad decisions? Enter a guy you might have heard of, and a fella by the name of Chuck Yeager. And I'm also going to do like a miniature thing just all about Chuck Yeager on what he's done. Enter a guy. Okay, so now Chuck wasn't just any pilot. He was a West Virginia badass with a thick accent, the nerves of a mountain goat, and allegedly the ability to drink a bottle of whiskey and still shoot the wings off a gnat. Allegedly. Apparently, too, he was a commander of a squadron that I was in. Not at the time that I was there, but apparently at some point. So let's go to October 4th, 1947. Yeager slams the X-1 through the sound barrier at Mach 1.06, flying over Edwards like a rock star. And just like that, Mach became famous overnight. Fun fact, Yeager actually broke a couple of ribs horseback riding a few days before the flight and didn't tell the doctors because he didn't want to get pulled off the mission. So he rigged up a broomstick to close the X-1's hatch. Now that's aviation spirit, baby. You know what that needs? Some more freaking cowbell, because I got a fever. And the only prescription to get the X-1 off the ground is more cowbell. Babies, you're going to be wearing gold plated diapers by the time you leave here. Huh? By the time you leave here, you're going to be wearing gold plated diapers. With more cowbell. Anyways, fast forward to 1949, Murrock Army Airfield gets renamed Edwards Air Force Base in honor of Glenn Edwards, a test pilot who died testing the YB-49 flying wing. And by now, Edwards was just a place you went if you wanted to test the newest, wildest, most breakable aircraft the U.S. could dream up. And if you survived a few years flying there, congratulations. You're very lucky, very good, or both. The golden age of flight tests, 1950s to 1960s. Let's talk about the crazy parade of aircraft that rolled through Edwards in the 50s and 60s. You had, well, the X-2, which flew faster than Mach 3 and then exploded. The X-15, basically a rocket with tiny wings, reaching the edge of space. And the XB-70 Valkyrie, a bomber that could cruise in Mach 3, and it looked like something Batman would fly. Only two of them were made. One of them crashed, and the other is, well, in the museum currently. It had 6 motors. I believe it was like 26 feet high. It's great. It was crazy. You need to look at XB-70. I'll do a video on that thing. Woo! And it wasn't just the Air Force. NASA set up shop at Edwards, too, at the Dryden Flight Research Center, which eventually became part of today's Armstrong Flight Research Center. Bottom line, if it was fast, weird, or deadly, it probably flew out of Edwards first. Well, shuttle landings. Jump to the late 70s and 80s when the Space Shuttle program needed a place to land after orbit. Well, better than a 10-mile-long dry lake bed with 100 different emergency runways. Woo! Starting with Columbia in 1981, most early shuttle landings touched down at Edwards. And fun fact, landing a shuttle wasn't easy. It dropped like a rock. No engines. No second chances. You either nailed it or you had a very bad day. Luckily, Edward pilots are pretty darn good. Whoa, man, I'm learning a lot about Edwards Air Force Base here. And now let's shoot over to the modern era. Still wild after all these years. Today, Edwards is still cranking away. It's the home of the 412 test wing, testing everything from F-35s to other stuff that nobody knows about. Oh, I'm dying over here. Oh, and it's still got that same wild, wide open vibe. I'm not going to edit any of this out. I'm leaving all of it. Fuck it. No, we're not striving for perfection here. We're crew chiefs. We don't do that. And it's still got the same wild, wide open vibe. It's where the cutting edge meets the crazy, and somehow magic happens. Woo! Here's some quick, fun facts. All right, here's some rapid fire random trivia you can use to impress your friends or scare off dates. Either one. Nerds. Edwards covers over 470 square miles. It's technically an emergency landing site for NASA astronauts. Even today, over 500 first flights have happened at Edwards, everything from fighter jets to flying wings. And the base's unofficial motto, if it hasn't broken, you're not testing it hard enough. That's unofficial. That ain't official. And being a maintainer, they fly the shit out of this stuff. Hey, man, here's why Edwards matters, okay? Without Edwards, you don't get jets flying Mach 3. You don't get astronauts landing on the shuttle. You don't even get stuff like stealth bombers and drones, all right? This patch of dirt in California literally changed aviation forever. And yeah, it's hot, dusty, smells like jet fuel mixed with sweat, swamp ass, has snakes, scorpions, coyotes, the yuccamanas out there, all right? All kinds of stuff. But damn, if it ain't glorious, you know? And you just gotta love it, and it's gonna be here in the future. Best test in the West, baby. And yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for today's ride through the legendary history of Edwards Air Force Base. From dry lake beds and tent cities to rocket planes and space shuttles, Edwards has seen it all. And somehow, it's still the coolest air base on planet Earth. Said nobody ever. I think people want to go to Aviano. Actually, if you're an airplane nerd, it's pretty cool. I don't know if you've been in the museum or not, but I've only seen the outside, which has the one of two two-seater A-10s sitting out there, which is going to come soon on a video as well. Since I got a GoPro and we can go, bro. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with me and talking about Edwards Air Force Base and talking about everything else. And remember, if you ever find yourself landing on a dry lake bed at 200 miles an hour, you're probably doing something right. Yeah. Pretty cool, huh? Well, that was pretty good information about Edwards Air Force Base, a little history on that. And you know what? There's more to come. Because I'd like to do it on all sorts of bases and all sorts of like shutdown bases, active bases, fighter squadrons, and people who basically changed the face of aviation, and made it to what it is today, where we were able to do what we had to do while we were in the military. You know, I haven't been in that industry in a minute because I'm a janitor and I like to mop things up. But yeah, I like to drive Zambonis. The Air Force and military taught me how to clean very well. So that is what I do. Anyhow, I appreciate everybody listening today. For those 1, 2, or 3 people. If you would like to support our channel, you can, and these are the free ways. You can go to YouTube and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button, share, hit the bell. It's free. Doesn't cost you a thing. Okay? I know we're cheap. We're all cheap. I'm cheap. So it doesn't cost a thing. Boop. Click it. We're on Facebook. We're on Rumble. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitch. We're on TikTok. We're on X. And we're on anywhere podcasts are broadcast. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio. There's so many others that are out there. Listen to us. You won't be disappointed. A couple other things here going on. My band and I, we are going to play at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Hollywood on May 22nd. We're going to go rock some faces, melt some faces, kick some ass. You should go and also check out another project of mine called High Desert Outlaws. It's a mix of metal and EDM. We've only got one track out. It's on SoundCloud.com, but it's pretty fucking badass. Yeah, and again, if you'd like to donate and support the channel with some generous cash flow, you can go to patreon.com/Keys of the Jet podcast and join our $5 tier and help out the channel or help out the podcast. Become a patron. If you don't, that's cool too. Give us a follow somewhere. And yeah, this video will I will probably start putting these, like the videos that I do, on just for the patrons, and then leave the audio for everybody else. So I don't know. We'll see. But again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being you. If you're a veteran in crisis, please call somebody. If you need help, let somebody know, because we would rather talk to you and help you with your issues than talk about you at your eulogy. And that goes for anybody else out there. Just let us know. Hit us up, man. If you need somebody to talk to, fucking message us. We do respond to people's messages. Just let us know, man. Again, they have the Veteran Crisis Hotline. There's all sorts of I think it's Veteran One Source. Let me look it up. Veteran One. Yeah, Veteran One Source. Hold on. Hold on. Our military One Source? No, is it military One Source? No. Okay. Yeah, if you're a veteran and you're in crisis and you need somebody, please call the Veteran Crisis Line. You can dial 988. To connect with the Veteran Crisis Line, dial 988 and press 1 or text 838-255. Confidential chat is also available online at veteranscrisisline.net/chat. The service is available 24/7, 365. So if you or anyone you know is currently veteran and in crisis, please reach out. Again, we'd rather have you talk to somebody, talk to us, talk to anyone, get help. So that way we don't have to talk to you about you at your eulogy, because the 22 or more a day, 22 or more veteran suicides a day. So look out for each other. Look out for each other. Be nice to each other. Love each other. Even though we're crew chiefs and even though we're maintainers and we're assholes, we all live in, we all are fueled by hate, caffeine, tobacco, nicotine, and jet fuel. Just, you never know what somebody's going through. So be nice. Once in a while. You never know what somebody's going through. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. It was pretty cool. It came together just perfect. I thought it was going to be a freaking nightmare, but it's worked out for the best for me so far. I haven't uploaded it yet, and you guys haven't listened to it yet. But again, I really appreciate everybody, all your support. Thank you for helping us and listening to us and following us for the last 2 years plus. And we hope to keep going, whether we get big or whether we stay where we're at. It is what it is. We love doing this. I love doing this. It's cool because I get to fucking get on here and just talk and talk. And jib jab, and flap my gums, So, yeah, again, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being you. And, yeah, again, be nice, love everyone, and also tell your loved ones you love them. Hug your kids. All right. Have a great freaking night. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm out. And I'm not editing this shit either. So all the mistakes and coughs and sneezes and everything, you're going to listen to them. Okay, bye.